Hello, hello, gorgeous women. Welcome to today's Facebook Live. I'm going on kind of impromptu today, so we'll see. Oops. Yeah, we'll see who jumps on for this live. So, welcome, welcome, ladies. It's so wonderful to have you here. For some reason, I can't see myself. Oh, there I am. Okay, cool. So, thank you so much, ladies, for tuning in to this Facebook Live. So, what I wanted to bring to the table to today's live was really sparked by the question that I posed in the group the other day around, does dating feel like a chore to you? Okay. And this is something that I hear over and over and over again is like, I've been trying to date. I have been putting myself out there. I have been, put my profile up online. Maybe I've even been on a few dates. And something is just not clicking. Like, I may be willing to do this process because it's a necessary evil on the way to me finding my beloved, manifesting my king. And it's something that I absolutely loathe. It's absolutely something that is not fun, not pleasurable, not enjoyable for me. And because it's not enjoyable, because I'm not taking pleasure in it, it's extremely difficult for me to do. It's extremely, like, there's so much resistance and so much, like, do I have to? It's like cleaning up a really, really messy house or a really, really messy kitchen. You're just like, do I have to do this thing, right? So if this is you, I just want to say, like, I feel you, ladies. I feel you. So many of us would just wish we could just bypass dating and not have it be an experience that we go through on the way to finding our king, finding our sacred partner. And it's like, we wish we could just skip that step and just get right to the outcome, right? Which is a great idea, right? If you're really good at manifesting and you're really good at just making things happen, like boom, right? That is an option, right? You can, to a certain degree, skip some of the stuff that I teach, some of the stuff that I am a proponent of. But there's a reason why you want to date. There's a reason why you want to have a courtship process built in your sacred partnership journey, okay? There's a very, very good reason for it. So I'll talk about that in just a moment, but what I'm really wanting to talk about here now is this reason why you feel like, or there's actually a number of different reasons, but why you feel like dating is this awful, like, drudgery that you have to do on the way to finding your king that you're so resistant to and you would rather just skip over, okay? So there are a number of different reasons for this that I'm going to bring up here. If you are watching this video and you find dating to be a chore, I would love to just hear from you. Like, is this the case? Is this something that you have found to be true with yourself? It's like, oh, this necessary evil on the way to me finding my beloved, me actually getting the type of partnership that I want to find, right? So if that's you, just write yes in the comments section, or if you if you dare, you could even just share like why you feel like it's a chore. What is so odious about it? What is so, like, what do you hate most about dating? Let's just go right there. So just feel free to share that. I invite you to share that in the comments section. Like, what sucks the most about dating? Let's just go there for a second, okay? So I'm not even sure if I can see comments on this thing. So I'm not 100% sure I'll be able to see your comments. But if I don't see your comments, then I'll respond to them later, okay? So if you find dating to be a chore, like I said, you're not alone. This is a really, really common thing. And once we can understand, first of all, why we see dating as a chore, why we see it as this awful thing that we have to do on the way to finding our beloved that we would rather just skip over, it can be a lot easier to shift that experience, our relationship with dating, and understanding why it's actually can be quite delightful. And how essentially really to turn it, like it really enables you, once you understand why you don't love it, it allows you to be able to fall in love with it and turn it into a feast. Okay. So we want to go from like being a chore, like Cinderella scrubbing the floor in her attics, to Cinderella, going to the ball. Her fairy godmother shows up. She puts on the gown, right? And she goes off in the carriage, the pumpkin carriage, to meet the prince. So dating can feel like that. It doesn't have to feel like drudgery. It doesn't have to feel like a chore. It can feel like a delightful feast. It can feel like you, Cinderella, going to the ball. But there is a process here of getting there, okay? So first of all, the number one reason why most women are not enjoying dating, why they feel like it's a chore, like they absolutely hate it, is because they are not connected to their pleasure. They're not connected to their pleasure. And when I'm talking about pleasure, I'm not just talking about sexual pleasure. It could be sexual pleasure, but what I'm talking about is what really delights you. What inspires you? What experiences do you want to have along the road, the yellow brick road to your sacred partnership? What experiences do you want to have? Like, what would be absolutely delightful for you to experience? And most women have no sense of that. Most women have been living this kind of a life where they get up, they go to work, they come home, they put the dinner on the table, they put the kids to bed, and it's this very kind of routine life that just doesn't have a lot of room for pleasure, okay? So if you're not attuned to pleasure in your daily life, if that isn't something that you cultivate and something that you choose and something that you really, really make space for in your life, then why would you experience it any differently in your dating life? Okay, there's no reason why you would. So many, many women are not connected to their pleasure, what turns them on, what delights them. What is it that they actually desire in their dating life, in their dating experience? Because so many of us are so obsessed with getting to the result, getting to the outcome, getting to the finish line, that we miss all of the delightful experiences that are ours for the taking as we move along this path. Okay? So that's the first reason why many, many women do not see it as something that's delightful, that's a feast. They see it rather as this chore, as this drudgery that they have to do, okay? Is because they're not connected to their pleasure. They're not connected to their bodies. They're not connected to what turns them on. They're not connected to that joy, that inspiration that comes from going on this journey, okay? Reason number two, and it has to do with reason number one, is that you are too goal-oriented. You're too goal-oriented. So often, in our experience of dating, in our experience of courtship, we are so focused on the outcome. It's like almost like we're applying for a job. Like it's this corporate situation where we're just trying to get the job and we just want to secure the position, right? And jobs are not that much fun to, jobs are not that much fun to apply for unless you're really into like job hunting for some reason, unless you take a lot of pleasure in job hunting. I don't think a lot of people do. But if that is you, then great. But if you're like most women are so eager to secure the relationship, they're so eager to secure their throne with their king, that there's this over eagerness, there's this over, let's get it done, I just want it to be done. And there's like a lack of patience and a lack of dropping into the moment. And the moment, here and now, is where all of the magic unfolds. So if we're too focused on the end goal of like, I just want him to be my partner, I want him to be my king, I want him to marry me, all of these things, then we're actually dropping ourselves, we're dropping out of the here and now. We are being kicked out of our embodied experience, and we are going somewhere else, which isn't even real right now. And a lot of the time, we fall on our face when we do that, okay? And that can be really something that can be, if we're too goal-oriented, if we're too focused on the desired outcome, we just want that to happen immediately. We're not willing to go on the journey. That can be really repellent to masculine men. And so you may wonder why you keep going on all of these dates and you keep getting ghosted and you keep feel like you have a great connection with somebody, you feel like there's potential, you feel like there's something there, and then a couple weeks in, there's like no contact, right? Ghosts, disappears, whatever. I'm not saying it's 100% always because you were too focused on the end goal, but I would say a lot of the time we get this kind of obsessive thinking going where we're like so focused on the end goal and we like can't relax, we can't surrender into the present moment and surrender into the mystery and magic, like of what is here and what is meant to unfold organically from this experience of dating, okay? Number 3 is you're not doing it in a way that is streamlined, that is meant to get you results. So what I mean by that, you don't have a strategy, you don't have a process. You're just going online, kind of randomly just scrolling through all of these different profiles. You're swiping left, you're swiping right, but there isn't really a strategy. There isn't really intention. There isn't really ritual built into it, okay? You're just kind of randomly shooting in the dark. When you're shooting in the dark, you're not going to hit the target very often. So that's another reason why a lot of women see it as a chore, is simply because they don't know how to do it in a way that is actually designed for them to screen out the people that they don't want to have anything to do with in the long term, and to draw in the people who are a good fit for them or who would potentially be a good match for them, okay? So that's another reason why it can feel like a chore, is simply because, when you are cleaning your house, you don't have a strategy, you don't have a plan, you're just kind of randomly going around and no, judge me here. Sometimes I do this. I did this today, but and then I had to realize I was like just kind of randomly going around to different parts of my house and trying to clean it and being like, wait, what am I doing? I need to like come up with a game plan here. So most people don't even have a game plan. Most people just are like, okay, I'm going to go online and see what's there. I'm just going to swipe through some profiles and that's my game plan, right? No, there's way, way, way more to it than that. Doesn't have to be super complicated. It can be simple, but you do need a strategy. And if you're frustrated, if you're not getting the type of results that you want, if you're just like meeting people and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, it's because there is no strategy in place. And it feels like a chore. It feels like extra hard because of that, okay? The fourth reason number 4, why you may be feeling like dating is a chore, is because you are dating anyone and everyone versus screening the ones who are a right fit for you. So this is a little bit connected to the last one, but it's big enough that I want to make it its own point, is that you are. So the second one was you're too focused on the end goal. The last one here is that you're not focused enough on what it is that you truly want. And you're not looking at profiles, you're not looking at people's profiles to see like, okay, is this person just looking for hookups? What are the signs here, right? What signals am I putting out that may be indicating that I'm just looking for a good time or hooking up or nothing serious or nothing casual? So it's like a balance you want to find between not being so focused on the end goal that you forget to enjoy yourself in the present moment, have fun, feast on the men that are in front of you, and ultimately also having a sense of direction, like where is it that you ultimately do desire to be. Because if you're just, again, it's kind of shooting in the dark. If you're just dating anyone and everyone who comes into your space, there isn't enough discernment. There isn't enough like, okay, is this person looking for a long-term relationship? Is that something they have in their profile, or is it written like I'm not sure? Are you having the conversations fairly early on, not like within the first date or two, but like within the first month, like, okay, you know, that really bring clarity around that really bring clarity to you around, is this the type of person that is available for what I want? And what signals, what languaging, what communication am I using to actually indicate that like what I want is what I want? So part of this is not being fully honest also about what it is that you want ultimately, which can be really tough to come to terms with, because if you do want lasting love, if you do want your king, if you do want your soulmate relationship, but you have it somewhere in your profile that you're looking for hookups, or you're looking, like you don't have in there somewhere that you want a long-term relationship, that you are family oriented, that you're somebody who loves partnership, you love courtship, all these things, you love being in your feminine, then you're going to attract a lot of the wrong people who are looking for a hookup, especially if you're doing stuff online. Okay. The last reason, ladies, is that you're too focused on one person. You're too focused on one person. So ultimately, you want to be focused on one person. You don't want to be just dating a bunch of people indefinitely, right? But the way to begin to see your dating experience is really just seeing it as this feast that is incredibly abundant. There's this feast, there's this buffet of men out there in the world that you get to enjoy, that are ready to be enjoyed and are ready to enjoy you. But if you're too focused on one person, or if you're like only dating one person at once on this feast, it takes the feasting energy out, takes the abundance energy out of it, and it puts you into scarcity mode. And you're focusing too much on one person. You're focusing in like, oh, this one person is amazing, and I'm just going to ignore all these other people. Okay? So that's another reason why you may not be finding dating to feel like a feast right now. It's because there's too much focus, there's too much seriousness, premature seriousness on one person. There's too much like being hooked into someone else's energy too much too soon, versus spreading your eggs out, putting your eggs in multiple baskets and enjoying the fruits of that, okay? So this is essentially why you may be feeling, and there's other reasons as well, but these are the top reasons why you may be feeling like dating is this kind of awful drudgery that you have to do, this necessary evil along the road to your sacred partnership. Okay. So the way to begin to turn this around is basically do the opposite of everything I just named. So, be more connected to your pleasure, what turns you on. You don't want to be so goal-oriented that it takes you out of the present moment, and you're so focused on the end game that you can't actually enjoy the process of the unfolding that's meant to take place. You want to make sure that you're not being too goal-oriented. You want to be more in the present moment. You want to get really tuned into the here and now. The third thing is that you're not doing it in a streamlined way. So the way to remedy this is to have a strategy, a simple strategy. That's what we teach, wink, wink, to like really bring you a number of different high quality men into your life that you can begin to practice the courtly arts with and do this courtly arts dance with. And so it's this pleasurable, delightful feast of being co-creating with a number of different men and just seeing what it is that you like and seeing what it is that you enjoy and having fun and playing and being flirtatious and all of these things and seeing where those go in an organic way. And also not doing that, making sure that you're not doing that with the people who are just wrong for you to start out with, people who are clearly not a good fit, people who are clearly not ready for a relationship, people who are looking for hookups. All of those things. And then also making sure that you were dating a number of different people at the same time. Okay. So that's how to begin to remedy it, to begin to turn it into more of a feast rather than a chore. Of course, this is a very high level conversation around this. If this is something that you have found to be true, that it's like maybe you've done some of these things or you've tried some of this stuff where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I want it to feel pleasure. I want it pleasurable. I want to enjoy myself. I want to know that if I follow through with dating, that it'll get me where I want to go, right? Because you don't want to just date endlessly. You want to actually have a destination. You want to have a destination, but you want to be in the present moment. It's that delicious balance of those two things. So if this is you, ladies, I invite you to reach out and book a free 45-minute breakthrough call with either me or my beloved partner, Johnny. And what we will do on this call, we will take a deep dive into your love life, into your dating life, really look at the areas why it hasn't been pleasurable for you, why you're not getting the results that you want, and help you come up with a game plan to actually start enjoy dating, to treat it as a feast, and to really ultimately manifest, magnetize the type of man or the man that you want to be with for the rest of your life, or at least for a while, let's just say, okay? So the link to book that call is claudialucida.com/apply. And we really want to just name the fact that we really, at this point, only want women. We are only willing to do this call with women who are serious about creating breakthroughs in their love life. So this is not for women who are dabblers. This is not for women necessarily who are in information gathering mode, because that is just, to be honest, that's not, it's just not going to serve you, and it's not ultimately what we're looking for in terms of these calls. So again, if that is you, if you are an action taker, if you are somebody who's wanting to get transformation in your love life in the next 3, 6, 9 months, then we invite you to reach out, okay? So again, the link, one more time, is claudialucida.com/apply. Look forward to seeing you on that call, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. Sending you all the love.